All right, we're going to switch themes now. We're going to talk about signals and storage capacity as they relate to computers, right? So let's remember computers are electronic devices, right? We mentioned that if we wanted to use the general idea of computers, cows count as computers because they can input something, process it, store it if they want, they can output. But in class we talked about how that's not what usually comes to mind when you think about computers, and many of you identified that, oh, you know what, they end up being electronic devices. That's one of the key features that makes us that we think of when we picture a computer. So computers are electronic devices. That's the key piece. Now, based on that, they use electricity, right? That's the idea that you're thinking on. So they use electricity to operate. I mean, to function, to work. They're able to spin certain parts on the inside like a fan, or they're able to blink some lights because of the electricity. So they need the electricity to run. It's their energy, right? However, they also use electricity to make, store, receive, and send signals. So they're going to make signals with it, they're going to store signals, they're going to receive the signals, and they're going to send signals using electricity, which is pretty neat. That is the key piece, right? This other one to operate is pretty obvious, but this is one feature that sets computers apart. So the signal can be on, that's represented with a 1, or it could be off, represented by a 0. Some people will argue about, is it really on, is it really off? We're not going to get into that. We're just going to say, okay, on is a 1, off is a 0. So if you see a 1, that electricity is on. If you see a 0, that electricity is off. All right. So here as a quick example, there's some piece of data. It's on. Electricity's off. Off. It's on. It's off. It's on. It's off. It's on. It's off. All right. So these are the signals that we're feeding into the computer. Of course, when you have a ton of these signals, all of those ons and off signals, they end up taking up space, right? If they're going to be making them, storing them, and receiving them, sending, they're going to end up taking up space. They're not just imaginary and held by some limitless place. No, if you're going to store them, they're going to take up space. So when we talk about that space and how much is taken up, we use the word capacity. It's a measurement of how many on and off signals a computer can store. So think about that. Like when you talk about a computer's capacity, you're talking about, oh, okay, how many on and off signals is this computer able to save, to store, right?